This is Hispaniola, and it's home to two countries, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. One side speaks Spanish, one speaks Creole and French. One side is mostly black and one side is mostly mixed. And while the Dominican Republic is the fastest growing economy in the Caribbean, Haiti is not. And while both sides' economies were built on agriculture, their history is different. So hop aboard in the time machine and let me tell you a story. You know how John said he was gonna fix my door? He's gonna rip me off. Hi there, my name's Christopher Columbus. I came here to explore the new world. Is it okay if I live here? Oh, no, you can't live here. We have lots of stuff going on. Oh, I'm sorry. It's alright, but no hard feelings? Oh, I'm sorry that you thought I was asking. No, Adriano, get the gun. And the Spanish took over half of Hispaniola in 1492 and are doing some bad stuff. Meanwhile, on the other side of the island, French pirates are hanging out over there, and the French, they're not really interested in going over there. Not yet. Eventually, they got the other half of the island in a 1697 treaty. But the French had a plan to sell all the crops to make money. And well, it worked. And Haiti is one of the richest places in the continent, only for a small portion of the population. But back at France, they were having the French Revolution, and they promised liberty, equality, fraternity, except for Haiti. But the Haitians had their own revolution in 1791, and they got their independence in 1804, and they invaded the other half of the island. But the other side revolted against the Haitians and formed the Dominican Republic, and both sides were poor at the time. And now time to compare the future between these two. After when the Dominican Republic got its independence, it was unstable. They had in-and-out dictatorships, even being a Spanish colony again. But when true independence came in 1865, the Dominican Republic started to grow by selling a good product to the US. It's white, it's a powder, it's very addictive, and you can make Coca-Cola out of it. Many Latin American countries do it, even though they're very corrupt. That's right, it's sugar. The Dominicans were exporting cacao and coffee to the US, but mostly sugar. America liked the sugar so much they even got invested in the Dominicans' education and infrastructure. So much so that the US finally took over the island in 1914 in case if the Germans tried to do anything fishy. But the US finally left in 1924, and some administrators are still staying until the late 30s. Okay, that's the Dominican Republic side. Now let's go see what Haiti's doing. Oh, well, it's a little more unstable here, too. You see, the U.S. also occupied Haiti, and let's just say it's not very stable. It had segregation, forced labor, and even political massacres. But after the U.S. left, they actually held elections. They elected Francois Duvalier, and let's just say he was a little nuts. And there's three things Duvalier liked most: violence, power, and voodoo. And he even made his own secret police, the Tonton Macoute, aka the Boogeyman, silencing anyone against the state. But the US only kept him around because he hated communists. But when his death in 1971, his son took over, aka Jean-Claude Duvalier, and he was just like his dad, just a little less strict. In the 80s, it was a time of protesting to get Duvalier out of power, and eventually he fled to France and came back in 2011. But he was charged with embezzlement and fraud, so I guess it had a happy ending. Okay, that's Haiti. Now let's go see the Dominican side. Oh, well, it's a little more difficult here too. And the caudillos of all caudillos took over. Rafael Trujillo. Trujillo set up a military dictatorship, and he ruled for 30 years with an iron fist. And the US only kept him around because he was exporting more sugar, and they were afraid the country would fall apart if he was killed. You see, Trujillo really hated the Venezuelan president and tried to get him assassinated, but 1 year later, he got assassinated, and that began the Dominican Civil War. But after the Dominican Civil War, they actually started to grow with a new cash crop, tourism. In the 80s, it was a hot spot. And you're probably asking yourself, what about Haiti? Did they become rich? No. The capital, Port-au-Prince, is filled to the brim of gangs, leadership changes, politicians are killed, and it's a failed state. And so, that's the story of Hispaniola. I give it 8 out of 10 stars.